Hello and welcome back. We are in another episode of our Bridgesimton challenge, and we are with the Vasari family. This is Ginevra, the mother of the family, and we also have her husband Ulysses. He is currently at work, and their daughter, who is a teenager, her name is Flora. Ginevra works as a scullery worker currently, and that means that she is a maid, and they are a peasant family. So they are definitely in our lower class branch, and so we are going to be seeing them definitely struggling through life. This is Flora, their daughter. She works as a beggar. She is a penny pincher. It says you have to learn how to beg effectively. So she's going to be begging for things, trying to bring in a little bit of funds for the family. They have very little money right now in the way of things. I think they only have like 700 simoleons. They are in dire straits. They really are struggling to make ends meet currently. She is just working on a little bit of trying to learn how to write currently. Like I said, Ulysses is currently at work, and he is, if we take a look at his panel to see what he does for a job, I believe he is an archer. He is a penniless page, and so he is learning the archery skill. We are just going to go ahead and jump into this episode and get started here. I do believe that Reginald has shown up to the family. He is trying to collect our taxes. Because we are a peasant family, we do have to pay our taxes to the royal family. And so he has shown up here to collect those taxes. So we are just going to get Ginevra here to pay those taxes to him. And I guess he's going to stay a little while and visit, which I don't know how I feel about that. As we know, Reginald is not the nicest gentleman in the world. He definitely looks down his nose at families like ours. And, I mean, we're struggling in this family. We are, obviously every family hopes to aspire to better, and every family wants to climb the social ladder. This family has a long way to go for that to take place. They definitely, Ulysses and Ginevra, want their daughter to find someone great to marry. But at the end of the day, they're probably not expecting her to marry anyone of substantial quality. They just want her to marry. So she's probably going to marry, yes. Will she marry and have children and carry on? Of course she will. Is it going to be anyone of high standings or anyone of noble blood? Probably not. Just for the simple fact that they are a pauper family. They are peasants, and at the end of the day, they are most likely going to only be able to attract lower class families to marry Flora, and she socializes with lower class families because they are in the low class, and so she doesn't have high hopes that she's going to enter the marriage market. Like, let's be real. So we are, obviously going to try to build some skills for her, such as writing and knitting and painting and all of those things like everyone else. But at the end of the day, do we think that she's going to climb the social ladder and be able to enter into the marriage market? No, we don't. The likelihood of that happening is slim to none. And at the end of the day, I think that she's probably just going to be marrying within her class. And this family will continue to stay a low-income family. And they'll just continue on. Okay, Ginevra, okay. You need to calm down. So Ginevra is going to go ahead and just get some food cooking for her family. Obviously, she wants to make sure she provides a meal for her husband for when he gets home. She's just cooking up a little bit of gruel here, it looks like. They obviously don't have a whole lot of means, and so they do eat a lot of gruel. Oh, great. I'm hideous. You are fine. Don't overreact. Jesus. So they have a really close relationship, this family. Obviously, they don't have much in the way of things, but what they do have is a lot of love and a lot of care. And so they are a very close family. They obviously get on well with one another, and so you will see them carrying on with one another quite a bit, and you are going to see that they hold each other in really high regard, and they definitely get on quite well, this whole family. And that is just because they may not have much, but the things that they do have, they definitely don't take for granted, and they really just value every little bit of things that they do have, and they really do find that they're grateful for the things that they have. They're grateful for each other, and so it helps them to really build up their relationships with each other. And so I think that's really important dynamic that you're going to see, is that this family is really, really close because they really lean on each other. So I am just going to go ahead and open up these seed packets here. I actually think it's probably too cold to plant, but I am still going to try, because if I can get them a garden growing, that is going to be fantastic. We definitely need some vegetables and fruits so that we can cook, because right now literally the only thing that Ginevra is able to cook is gruel. So if I can get her making things, growing things so that they can cook, that actually is going to be really an ideal thing for them. So if I can just go ahead and open up these seed packets and get these things planted so they can start growing some things, so they can start cooking things other than gruel, that would be really ideal. But that being said, it is winter in the game, and so the likelihood that I'm actually going to be able to plant this is probably going to, it's probably not going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and plant all this stuff down, or lay it all down, and see if I can get them out here to plant at the very least. It's probably going to tell me no, but we'll try it. So they are just in there eating, they're in there talking. As you can see, Flora's feeling pretty flirty. I'm not really sure what has led to that, but she is feeling pretty flirty. And Ginevra's feeling quite confident. She has been up today. She has been cleaning her house. She definitely likes to keep herself a tidy home, and that's probably because she's a scullery worker. She cleans other houses for a living, like mainly the noble houses and things of that nature. So she does that for a living. So she does take pride in keeping a tidy home, even though she doesn't have much, even though their house is, you know, obviously not as well-to-do as some of the houses that she cares for the nobles and things of that nature. She does take pride in her things and her home, and she wants it to be well kept. And so she was in there, she was cleaning up and keeping her house tidy, and it has brought on some confidence in her. She is just waiting for her husband to arrive home from his shift doing his penniless page, and obviously that's going to bring them in a little bit more funds, and then we will be seeing them obviously go ahead and spend some time with him. I'm sure when he gets home from work, he's going to be pretty hungry, and he's going to want to go ahead and grab himself a bite to eat. So we'll be seeing him come in and probably do just that. I am going to put these extra food items in the fridge, so that will at the very least give us some things to cook with, which will be ideal. And these extra flowers I am just going to sell for money. As you can see, Flora does have a homework book in her inventory, but based on the rules of this challenge, low class females are not able to attend school, so she will not be able to attend the school, which is why I did get her a job, so that she wouldn't go to school, and instead she does go and she does her beggar job instead of going to school, because she, based on the rules of the challenge, actually isn't allowed to attend school based on her social class. So she's not going to be able to get an education and instead does have to go and work. And so instead she's going to go out on the street and she's going to beg for money. And, you know, that's really unfortunate for her that she has to kind of drop herself to these kind of low standards of having to go out and beg for money. But really they don't have much and every little bit counts. So even though it's, you know, kind of an embarrassment for her that she has to stoop to that level of going out and standing on the street and begging for money, it does bring money into their home and helps them to put food on the table and things of that nature. And so she has to contribute to her family in whatever way she can. So as you can see, Ulysses is back from work. He is, like I said, grabbing himself a bit to eat here. And then we are just going to go ahead and we're going to have him chat with his wife a little bit. We are going to be having them have just a little bit of a conversation. At the beginning of this challenge, I did have to roll to find out what families were going to need to have babies. And this family did roll that they were going to need to have children. They do need to have, I believe, one more child. So we will be having them in this episode try for another baby and hoping that they are able to get expecting. And that will be fantastic, obviously, if I can get Ginevra pregnant and they're able to continue on expanding their family line. So I do think at some point we will see that take place where they will go ahead and try for a little one. But, you know, I mean, it is a huge age gap between Flora and then having another child, but we do want to go ahead and get them trying for a little one. And obviously, you know, some of our other families do have newborns and small children, and they haven't had a child in quite some time. But I do think Ginevra would just kind of be like Ulysses. You know, it has been a long time since, you know, we have tried for a little one, but I think that maybe, you know, it is high time that we get on that because I'm not getting any younger. And he would be like, you know, you're probably right. And he's like, you know, I just kind of worry about us having more children because we don't have a lot in the way of funds, and how are we going to provide for another mouth to feed? And she's going to be like, I understand that, but we all three have jobs and we'll figure it out. And he's like, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and let everyone take care of their needs here. And then we are going to probably let them start heading themselves off towards bed. It is starting to get a little bit late in the evening, and so I do think that they will start to be wanting to turn in for the night. As you can see, Ulysses is pretty sad. He hates the fact that all that they can eat is gruel. He wishes that obviously he had more money coming in from his work so that he could be able to provide Ginevra with better things that she could be able to make for them, because honestly, he hates that that's the only thing that she can make for him is gruel, and that they don't have more options for her. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes just it is what it is. So as you can see, they are currently having the conversation, and she is like, I'm gonna go clean up, and he's like, well, I'm gonna probably head off to bed. So we are going to go ahead, and he's so sad. Don't go cry it out in your daughter's bed. Why don't you go and actually maybe get yourself a little bit busy here? Everyone is just tending to themselves. But I'm probably going to send them, the parents, off to bed. Flora is currently at work. He's just writing a little bit of correspondence. And I think that she's going to come up and check on him. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just writing a little bit of correspondence. And she's like, I didn't know you knew how to do that. And he's like, well, I don't know how to do a whole lot, but I mean, I struggle with it a little bit, but I can, you know, write a fair amount. So let's go ahead and get them into bed here, I think. And maybe they can try for that baby and then head themselves off to sleep. Why don't you stop writing and you guys go and try for a little one? He's like, I'm not in the mood to try for a little one. I am so sad over this gruel meal. She's just telling him an engaging story about her day. And he's like, did you work today? And she's like, no, I work tomorrow. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, well, how are you thinking that's going to go? And she's like, you know how it is in the noble's house. Nobody ever cleans up after themselves. That's why they have me. He's like, I know. She's like, sometimes it's so drastic. He's like, I can only imagine. She's like, I don't think you can, Love. I really don't think you can. But
Flows it.
these two
Edna
are so cute. He is really, really sad over the gruel meal. He really is. He's like, I had to go and practice my archery today, and I am not the greatest at it. I really need to practice at it. I really need to maybe invest in something I can practice at home. And she's like, I don't think we have the funds for that right now. And he's like, I don't think we do either. And she's like, do you think you can practice at work? And he's like, well, I don't know. She's like, I think right now you're going to have to, love. And he's like, I know, but I really could stand to save up some money and try to get something to practice from the house. And she's like, okay, well, we'll have to start trying to plan for that. And he's like, okay. So I think they're going to plan to try to save up some money so that he can get an archery table to practice here at the house. But for now, they really just don't have the funds for that. I am going to go ahead, send them off to bed, and we will let them get a little bit of rest. And then obviously in the morning, we will see how things are going for this family. We do, as you know, need to do a random selection roll for this family and see what the dice is going to bring for us, which, as we know, is so worrisome. In the last episode, we had a family completely die off, and we had to orphan a child, which is so tragic. So I'm a little bit nervous about this family and what could happen to them. We do have Flora back home. She had an embarrassed work day, which I guess is understandable considering she was out begging for money. But we're going to put her off into bed, and I will see you in the morning. So it is the next morning. Ginevra is up. We are just going to go ahead and send her to the washroom, and we are going to get her cooking a little bit. She needs to obviously, take care of some of her needs. She is the one that cooks in the house, so we will have her get breakfast going. There's not a whole lot she can do for breakfast, but we will try to, maybe do some eggs and toast. I think that's probably the only thing really that she can get going. Oh my gosh, you probably should have gone to the loo first because you are really, really desperate for the loo. She does have a want here that she does want to try for a baby, so we're definitely going to be trying for that baby. I tried to get them to do that last night, and Ulysses was just so sad over that gruel meal that he was like, I just can't even be asked. So they didn't try for the baby, but I will have them obviously try for that baby today. And obviously we are going to be doing our random selection roll to find out what it is that our family is going to be facing for their fate in this episode, which is going to be interesting, I'm sure. I don't know. We'll find out what happens. But we're going to let her finish up this meal, and then we will send her off to the washroom. She's like, okay, but can I eat first? Do you really think that you have time to eat before you go to the washroom? Let's get Ulysses to come on down. He can grab himself a plate of this, and we will also get Flora to come down and grab herself a plate, and everyone will grab themselves a little bit of breakfast. I do think that he has work today as well, so everyone is just going to get themselves all fed up here before they have to go off and do their duties. So that will be great. He is feeling really, really energized this morning, which is great. I'm glad that he was able to get a good night's rest. And she is going to obviously need to get to the washroom. Like, please get to the washroom. She's like, let me clean up. Oh my gosh. You are going to wee yourself. Flora's actually feeling pretty energized herself. Everyone seems to be in pretty decent shape, which is pretty good. I am going to have Flora work a little bit more on her writing, I think. Maybe she can also work on some charisma. And so maybe we'll have her practice her speech in her little dressing table there. If that will work for her, that would be fantastic. Look at her. She's like, oh, I didn't even get to go to the washroom because now I have to head off to work. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, my God. Poor Ginevra. Just poor Ginevra. So she's headed off to work. She's desperate for the loo. But unfortunately, she, had to go. Duty calls. I am going to, like I said, get her up here. Oh, I guess she was unable to talk to her vanity. So I'll have to look into maybe getting a different mirror in the house somewhere so that we can have her working on her charisma. And I'm going to, I guess, get her up here and get her taking a bath. And Ulysses, what are you going to do, sir? Maybe we can get him doing a little bit of wash. I know that's probably like Ginevra's job, but oh, he's like, I'm gonna dance. I am gonna get him doing a little bit of the wash though. I know that's Ginevra's job, but being that she's out and she's washing and cleaning and tending to the nobles' homes all day long, I think that Ulysses would be like, I'm just going to help my wife. Like, I know that she's going to have a hard, long day. And so I think that he would really want to just assist her, because that's just kind of how this family rolls. They really do like to pitch in and help each other. And, you know, even though that's really a woman's task, he doesn't really mind helping Ginevra. And he is the kind of guy that just wants to pitch in and help her. He doesn't want her to feel like everything is her responsibility when it comes to the house stuff. And so he's really happy to help her. And so that's what he's going to do. Like, he's like, it needs to be done, so I'm just going to do it. Like, it's really not a big deal. And so he really doesn't go by the social, I guess, norms of the woman has to tend to the house and cook and clean and take care of the children. Like, he doesn't follow that. Like, she's my partner and I love her and this needs to be done and I'm here and she's not, so I'll do it. That's kind of how he feels. And that's really respectable of him. So we are just going to go ahead and let him finish up with this laundry, and once it's clean, we will go ahead and get it hung up on the line, and then we will go ahead and have him get himself ready for work, because he also does have to go to work today, and he will be doing another long day as a penniless page. So that's going to be fantastic, that he's going to obviously be heading to work and trying to make some more money for the family, because once again, we only have 750 something simoleons, which is not a lot to live off of. And this chicken coop does not work, so there's that. We can't purchase chickens, which means we can't get eggs. I don't know what's wrong with it. I tried resetting it, I tried deleting it and putting a new one down, and nothing works. So I don't know what the deal is. But either way, it's just not working. So we are going to just let him go ahead and head himself off to work now. And then we will head upstairs or downstairs, I guess, is where she is. She's getting in a little bit of dancing now. And we're going to deal with her. But I think I'm going to have her practice a little bit of her calligraphy. That way she can get some etiquette skill. I know that, technically she is of low class and she has 0 chances of gaining into the marriage market, but I do want her working on it nonetheless, because she does need to be working on those skills for this challenge. So I am going to have her work on her calligraphy, and while she does that, we're going to hop over and do the random selection roll. So let's go ahead and hop over and do that now. Okay, so as we know, we have 5 options to choose from: financial, family, social, disaster, and miscellaneous. And we are going to hop over to our random number generator, and we are going to select 1 through 5 and give that a generate. And we got 1, which is financial. There are 9 selections in that, so if we choose 1 to 9 and give that a generate, we got option 3, which says gain an amount of money from the crown for estate updates. Roll a d5, and you get a certain amount for each roll of the numbers to increase your basically estate update. So we are going to pull up the random generator and go 1 to 5 and see what we get. So 1 to 5 and generate, we got a 3. So we are going to get 150K added to our funds, which means we are actually going to get an upgrade in our estate and in our social standings. So this family is just getting upgraded quite substantially. They are now going to be an upper class family, and so we are going to be changing their social standings. We are going to go ahead and we are going to upgrade this family, which is super exciting. I can't wait for that to take place. So let's go ahead and continue on with them. But when everyone gets home from work, we will go ahead and hop into cast with them. We will be able to give them their new outfits, and this family is going to be able to climb the ladder. I can't believe it, but we are actually going to be able to see Flora in the running now for the marriage market, which I was not expecting because of her being a peasant. But now she is going to have to learn her skills and get herself ready for that marriage market. She's going to need to meet all of the skills that she has to meet for this challenge. Those skills for this challenge, as we know, are music, painting, etiquette, logic, charisma, knitting, singing, writing, cross-stitching, and dancing. Those have different levels that she has to meet. All of those things are on the challenge rules, which is in the description box below, and you can always go and take a look at that. But as you can see, our family is back home. They have returned from work, and we are just going to go ahead and let Ulysses go ahead and go upstairs and talk to his wife after he goes to the washroom, of course. He is going to ask her how her day was, but he's also going to tell her, "Did you hear?" And she's going to say, "What?" And he's going to say, "I was told that we got noticed by the crown." And she's going to say, "We did." And he's going to say, "Yeah, I was told that we became a lord and a lady." And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Yeah, not only that, but like, we just came into some money." And she's like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing." And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Flora's going to be able to enter the marriage market." And he's like, "I know." And so she's like so excited, and she's just fit to be tied. She can't believe it. She's like, "I don't have to be a maid anymore." And he's like, "No." And she's like, "Flora doesn't have to be a beggar." And he's like, "No, she doesn't." And she's like, "We get to be respectable." And he's like, "Yes, love." And she was like, "Oh my goodness." So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into cast with them soon, and we're going to update their outfits. But also he is like, "I want us to go ahead and I want us to purchase a new place." And she's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Well, we have the money to get us an estate now." And she's like, "We do?" And he's like, "Yeah, we do." And she's like, "I didn't realize we're getting that much funds." And he's like, "We are." And she's like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Let's go celebrate." And she's like, "Okay." So they're going to go have themselves a little bit of alone time. We are going to watch Flora get in some dancing skill, which, as we know, she definitely needs for her marriage market to be able to be met. She has to get dancing level 4. So we are going to let her do that. But she's like, "I'm going to go in here and write some more." So she does have to meet these skills. We need to get her meeting all of these skills. So we will be working on that for her, which is fantastic. We definitely want her getting herself ready and becoming a proper lady so that she can hopefully be able to meet someone and make herself a respectable lady that is of marriage material when it is time for the marriage market to go on. And I am super thrilled that she is now potential for that to take place, and I was not expecting that to take place or to happen at all. So I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm actually a little bit shocked right now. But we are going to hop on in to cast with this family. We're going to give them their updated outfits, and I am going to update their titles in the game. And then we're going to purchase them a home, and we're going to move them into their new household, and we're going to see their new home, which is going to be super great. And so let's go ahead now and let's do just that. And we will go ahead and we'll get them. They are just coming down to tell Flora the great news. And she's like, I think she's probably in a little bit of shock. She's like, "We're what?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're respectable now." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I am thrilled." Okay, so we have arrived here at the new residence for the Vasaris. As you can see, they have had a significant upgrade. They have definitely risen in class. They are now a lord and a lady, and we are just changing their jobs and putting them into a different area. I'm going to make Ginevra a socialite, and I am going to remove Flora from being a beggar so that she is no longer a beggar. She now actually, I think, is able to go to school, so I'll probably just put her into school, and then she will be able to head off into school, and she'll be able to attend so that she can obviously go ahead and do that and get a little bit of an education. I will have to look and see if she's actually able to go to school. I'll need to look at the rules again. But we definitely will change Ulysses' job from a penniless page as well. And I'll probably put him into, I don't know what job I'll put him into, but we'll put him into something different as well. And then we will continue on. Maybe I'll put him into the military. That might be what I'll do. But we are going to go ahead and let them work on some of their skills. As you can see, this house's downstairs is all done, but the upstairs unfortunately is not. I am going to go ahead and hire them a butler because they are a respectable family now, and so they can qualify for a butler because they have a significant amount of funds. And so we are going to have her go ahead and go on in here and take herself a pregnancy test. As we know, they did try for a little one, so we do want to know if they are expecting. And it does look like she is not currently pregnant at this time, so we will have to have them try again and see if they can get themselves expecting. Ulysses is just out here chatting with Flora. She is in shock, I think, still about this whole turn of events, and she doesn't really know kind of how she feels about it, but I think she's pleasantly pleased. But I think it's just all a little bit overwhelming for her. She never even dreamed in her wildest dreams that this would be her life. But we are really thrilled about this turn of events and the fact that this family has had such a massive upgrade and has moved up so much in this world so quickly, and that they are going to be able to obviously have their daughter enter into the marriage market if she meets her skills. As you saw, the upstairs of this house is not done, so I will off camera be doing the upstairs and decorating it and getting it ready for the next gameplay with this family. But until next time, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in our next episode of Bridgesimton Challenge, where we will be with our next family in our next round. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.